Hello friends, welcome back. I'm so blessed that you're here. I want all of you all to know that. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate you following along in the journey, watching this video, and just being here with me. I really greatly appreciate it. So in this video, we are doing garden tour number 2. Now, the last garden tour I did was about a month ago, so March 17th is when I posted it, which means that I probably recorded the footage a day or two before that, and then the editing process, so it's been almost a month since, maybe actually exactly a month. And so you're getting to see all of the things that are growing. Everything is doing really well, aside from my seedlings that are going to be reseeded because they've been pretty much completely eaten by little slugs. So that's going to be going on, and I took all of the straw off of the garden in hopes to solve my slug problem, and a couple of you have commented giving me advice on the slug problem, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. I really do value your comments. I really value the interaction in the comments, and so anyone who's commented, I genuinely thank you. You are blessing me so much in doing that. So let's just get right into it. I really hope you enjoy. All right guys, here we are in the Arbor Garden. Now, in the first bed here, we have exclusively sunflowers. In this bed, we did zinnias, cosmos, and helichrysum or straw flower. Now, some of them are coming up, and some of them are also getting eaten by little baby slugs. My plan is to remove all of the straw and hope that that aids in the problem that we're having. So I'll bring you over and try. Oh yeah, they're just almost completely gone at this point, which is really quite unfortunate. Here's one where you can actually see some of the damage. So there are still some right there, but once again, you can see where they're getting damaged. So I'm going to have to reseed a lot of this, but that is okay. I'm trying not to be discouraged by it. We're just gonna kind of go with the flow. That is the beauty and the curse of organic gardening. Here we have cosmos in this bed. Now we also have the gladiolas that I planted last year. So they're coming up and looking beautiful. Oh, poor little seed babies. I'm sorry, guys. Those are zinnias. Now the rest of these are pretty much zinnias. These look like they're doing okay, but no, see, one is getting munched on right there. So then we have more zinnias on that side. We have a volunteer poppy seed from last year. We have helichrysum or straw flower planted there. And we're gonna wait for the cars to go by. And then we've got more zinnias, and more zinnias. All right, moving on to this bed. We will get to the trees, I promise, but we're gonna start with the bed. Now this is the bed that I had garlic seeded in. And I wasn't weeding it because I didn't want to disrupt the garlic seed roots or the little garlic bulbs. And the weeds were getting just out of control. So finally I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and weed it. And as I was weeding it, some of the garlic seeds came up and were rotten. So for whatever reason, I'm really not sure what happened. Maybe I mulched it too heavily and they just couldn't find the light. I really don't know. If you have any advice for me on garlic, that would be fantastic. It might have been the wrong time of year, although I did order a variety that was supposed to be for spring planting because it was an early variety, but I'm not sure. But we have some carrots coming up that are volunteers or just all of a sudden decided to achieve from the last time I planted. And we have some little zinnia volunteers coming up in here as well. So I'm gonna maybe leave those. I don't know what I'm gonna plan for this bed other than what's in it right now. Obviously I'm gonna be planting more in it. I'm just not sure what, whether it be tomatoes. It's probably gonna be tomatoes, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And then if we come over here, we have the pea seeds along the trellis here, which they're looking quite beautiful actually. Actually, I think they've grown even since last night. I don't know, does anybody else do that? where they think that their plants have grown overnight. Now in this bed, I'm gonna actually come back over to this side here. I don't have anything planted along the trellis of this bed yet. I feel like there's so much more traffic today for some reason than there normally is. So I'm sorry about the traffic noise. The Arbor Garden is right up here by the road. So this is the spinach plant that is going to seed, and look how cool its little flowers look. I think those are the flowers. I think that's very cool. We've got the Swiss chard back there, which I need to harvest before it goes to seed. We have another spinach plant that is also going to seed here. We have the brassicas that we planted in this bed, although they are not looking very good, except for this kale is looking pretty great. I'm not sure how big it's going to be getting before it goes to seed, but I'm excited about it. This rose here isn't looking very good. I'm not quite sure what's going on with it. Maybe the late frost got it, but I don't know. If you guys have any tips for me on roses, this is really my second year doing roses, and I am a little bit clueless as it comes to roses, but I absolutely love them, and I think it would be so beautiful if this whole trellis was just covered in roses. And that was my goal, but it's looking quite sad. I had to walk around the wheelbarrow. Didn't want to embarrass myself if I tripped, you know. Didn't want to take you guys with me. So here we have a clematis. I'll try to show you guys here. And I had it pretty heavily mulched. I wasn't sure whether it had even survived the winter, but it had sprouted, but it was too heavily mulched. So, ooh, that could be one of the culprits of my seedlings also. Little roly-polies. Now they're super cute and all the things, but they do eat little seedlings. But they also help in the breakdown of the compost. So they are one of those beneficial, non-beneficial garden pests. But I'm gonna leave him. I'm pretty sure it was the slugs. I actually saw them eating my seedlings. So until the roly-poly proves me otherwise, I'm gonna leave him, let him hang out, because he has benefits as well. So here's the rose. As you can see, if I can get it to, there we go. And it's just, I don't know what's going on with it. This bed has nothing in the front. I didn't ever actually plant carrots here. It just got too late, and I want to keep it open for some of my summer crops. And then here we have the kale that is going to seed, and it's just beautiful. I think it is quite a stunning plant to have. I have multiple people ask me about what plant it is when they come and see the garden, so I figure it can stick around. And then it's got these beautiful yellow flowers that the pollinators really enjoy, so I just leave it and kind of let it seed itself again and have volunteers. Now we have peas along this side of this trellis as well, so if you remember, we're right across the way from the other peas, but this variety didn't do as well. Now, I did see them sprouting. We got a really heavy rain and I saw them sprouting, and some of the seeds had come up to the surface. So I don't know whether something rooted through here one night. It could have been, I don't even know, raccoon, possum. It could have been anything. It could have been the rain that rained too heavily and dislodged some of the seeds. I don't know, but the germination on this side has been quite poorly if we're comparing it to this side. Now it is two different varieties, but I really don't know. And then back here we have the strawberries that are putting on lots of blossoms, so hoping to have some delicious garden snacks. We have nothing along this trellis yet, and I'm not quite sure what I have planned for it yet as of now. Same thing here, nothing along the bottom of this trellis, but we have the strawberries. Nothing along the bottom of this trellis yet, but we have this beautiful rose. We have this beautiful rose, and oh look, some little garden friends. You are welcome here. Oh, you are not. So ants in the garden, if I can get it to focus on it, normally are farming aphids. So seeing ants and ladybugs in the same place typically means that there are aphids. Something is eating it right here. I'll keep an eye on that. It is the season for all of the yucky bugs to be coming back around. But look, isn't that so beautiful? We're gonna have, this is going to be covered in blossoms. Ooh, there's another ant. What are you eating, little ant friend? Let's see if I can. I'll be back to check on that. But this rose is going all the way up there, and it's just covered in beautiful green leaves and blossoms. I'm really excited about that. Now the strawberries here, once again, they're putting on lots of blooms. Oh, here's another garden saboteur. These are called tent worms, and they are not good. I'm just gonna take that right out and step on him real quick. Now the strawberries are putting on strawberries, which is really cool. Although I think that these got hit a little bit with the frost that we had, the late frost. So I don't know, we'll take what we can get, but they have lots of blooms on them. So I'm hoping we get lots of yummy strawberries. Now over here we have the old wash pail or wash basin, that's what I'm calling it. And we have this pot. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to plant in these yet. We have the chive plant, and then that's it. Well, actually I have mint in here, mint and lemon balm. I'm not sure whether they're going to be coming back. I'm actually kind of surprised to see that they aren't coming back, just because normally mint and lemon balm are really aggressive plants. Now that might be some mint. Yeah, that's mint. So the mint is still in here, but I don't know if the lemon balm is. So here we have the daisy, which is looking beautiful. I don't see any flower stalks on it yet, but it's looking gorgeous. Mighty, stay here. The garden dog and the neighbor's dog was in heat a couple weeks ago, and so now he's discovered that he can go over there. Mighty, stay over here, buddy. So here we have the strawberries. Continuing to walk down through this bed. And then if we turn, we've got our perennial flowers. Now, once again, I don't know what these are, but they look very cool, and they're starting to put flowers on, or flower stalks, I should say. So hopefully we will know what those are shortly. Here we have a daisy, I think. Now, this is one of the beds that has gotten hit really hard with the slugs. This is actually the bed that I found the slugs in last night. Man, they are really just going to town on my... So this was all... There was a huge row of seeds right here, and they're just completely gone. These were zinnias. So we've got our little willow babies here and here. And this is my gardenia, which is looking terrible. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do for it. So if you have any advice, please help me. Oh, the cosmos look okay. So these are cosmos. Those are those double Dutch pink cosmos, which I'm really excited about. I have no idea what this plant is, but it is amazing and it's beautiful. I'm very excited to see what it does. And then the little daisies who chose not maybe a great place to live are here behind it. But then again, they might actually benefit from some shade in the heat of the summer. And then these, I do not know what they are called, but they look, if it's the same plant that I think, it looks really cool. It's like a little puffy flower, It looks like it's like a little cotton ball. It's very cool. Now, I think I'm actually going to come around to the front of these so I can show you a little bit better. These are the wheelbarrow planters, and it's really quite amazing how different the germination is from the green wheelbarrow to the red wheelbarrow. So I was doing a little bit of an experiment, not necessarily an intentional one, but an experiment nonetheless. I rubbed these on the pavers here, as recommended on the back of the seed packet for germination, and it really did help. Mighty, stay here. So you can see them all coming up. Nasturtiums, and then we have marigolds in the middle. Now the slugs are also in here, which could very easily disprove my whole straw theory, because obviously these do not have straw on them, but I hope I can get it under control before they just completely devastate my seedlings. These are marigolds, and then we have to look really closely for the petunias. Those are little teeny tiny right there. Those are petunias. And so we have some more up here. It's quite amazing how small they start out, and then they get big, beautiful flowers on them. Now here we have the sunflowers, if I even have any left. Oh, I do have some right here. I had a whole bunch in there. I had a whole bunch in all of these actually, but the slugs have done a pretty good job at completely destroying them. So I'm just gonna come out and reseed what is no longer here, but these are gonna be all sunflowers. You can see some of the slug damage on there. And then I'm letting these buttercups go to flower for the pollinators, which I'm sure I will regret because they're just gonna seed and seed and seed. There are the daisies. Here's my camellia plant slash bush slash tree. It's looking a little bit better, I think, but it still looks pretty rough. Not sure what to give it. Then we have the dahlia, or not the dahlias, the daffodils. And there are ants again. I'm trying to show you guys. Which, once again, typically when you see ants, you'll see aphids. Yep, there they are. So let's just take that right on out. Step on that. It's good to know the aphids are back. Here we go to our grape. Sorry, I had an aphid on my hand and it's starting to rain on us. Blueberry. And the second blueberry, which is putting off another little shoot down here. And this grape, which appears to be doing absolutely nothing with its life, but we'll see what happens. It has quite a bit of root development whenever I replanted it, so I'm hopeful that it actually has something going on. Alright guys, it started to rain, so I'm going to try to get this done as soon as I can so that we don't get rained out. So my neighbor gave us some fruit trees, which is such a huge blessing. Once again, I just cannot even express my gratitude for that and for such a wonderful, beautiful gift. So this one is a plum, and then we have an apple. I think it's a cameo. Let me see. Yeah. Apple. And then a peach. Not sure what variety of peach. Let's see if it says. There we go. So that is the Arbor Garden so far. The next thing is going to be planting all of the trellises, which I'm so excited about. Okay, here is our onions, and now we put a fence up in the backyard. So the fence had to go a little bit directly through, not directly through, by the side of this little flower bed here. But that's okay. We have the onions that are looking great, except for right over there in that corner. Thing must have come and eaten them, so that's okay. This is just gonna be what it is. These are spaghetti squash, volunteer sunflowers from last year. I think that's a sunflower, although it does look a little bit like a zinnia as well, so it could be a zinnia. I think it's a sunflower. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's a sunflower. So that is the progress on that. And then we have these irises here on the other side of the fence, and they all have blooms coming. Oh, which is gonna be absolutely gorgeous. Cannot wait. Wow, it's gotten so much bigger since the last time I was out here filming it. As I was walking back to the log garden, look how beautiful all of the leaves are. And it's raining / rained, so the trees are all dark, so you can really see the contrast of the leaves to the trees. I love it. It's beautiful. So here we are at the log garden. Now you will notice that there is now a fence around the perimeter of the log garden. The exceptional husband that God has given me put this fence up to make me happy. And that was his explanation at doing it, and man, was he right. It really offers a beautiful perimeter and a comfiness to this garden space, as well as offers protection for the garden from garden predators such as deer and raccoons, possums, you know, all of the vicious fuzzy things. And so it gives me a chance to, or gives me something to decorate as well. I don't know about you guys being gardeners, but this gardener absolutely loves a good garden decoration. So let's go in here through the gate. Now he did have it all perfectly tight. He put so much effort into it, and then the fence was bumped by the tiller. Not proud of it, but is the truth. And now the fencing isn't quite as tight. So if you see that, it was my fault, not his. He did it perfectly where it was all tight and beautiful and level. Oh well. Okay, so let's start over here. We have the brassicas, cabbages, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts. They're all looking amazing. This is the biggest and best that I have grown these so far. They're looking absolutely beautiful. I do not know if they will make it to maturity with how warm it's getting consistently, but I am very much enjoying how they're looking so far, as well as we do have weeds growing. But once again, 'tis the blessing and curse of organic gardening. I'm not going to allow myself to be too overwhelmed by it. And I didn't weed before I did this garden tour because, once again, I believe in authenticity and showing what is actually going on. So there we go, weeds and all, mess and all. And then we have quite a bit of volunteers coming up, which is very fun. I love volunteer plants. Potatoes. I thought that the potatoes had completely failed from last year, but apparently they just overwintered and are coming back. And then we have, you know, random flowers coming up here and there, as well as melons. Oh, there's another potato right there. It's so fun. I love volunteer plants. It's like a free gift. I think this is radish. I just noticed that earlier today. We have our little cluster of squash or melons, and this really truly could be anything at this point. All of the squashes and melons were so intertwined last year. Here's another one. And so they were just kind of all over the place. Brussels sprouts, which are looking absolutely beautiful. Wow. Random sunflower, no idea where that came from or how it got here. My guess is birds, because we do have a bird feeder in the backyard. Cosmo. Lots of cosmos back here, actually. And then I'm gonna try to walk over here without stepping on any volunteer plants. I just planted the potatoes in this outside bed here and just the end of that one. Let me walk down there. As you can see, the grass, it's been raining here quite a bit, and the grass has been coming back pretty strongly in this. Here we go. So starting here. Oh, and something is already digging them up. Y'all, when I tell you, I just planted these. What is it? Is it a squirrel? Or is it the rain? Did I not cover them enough? I don't see any little footprints. All right, we'll have to keep an eye on that. But so that is the potato. Now, the potatoes did not take up even nearly as much space as I thought they would. I got 5 pounds of potatoes, seed potatoes, and it did, what is that, probably 30 feet. Okay, so maybe 60 feet of garden space. So now I have to come up with something fun to do with the rest of it, but that is currently what is happening in the log garden. Here we are in the tree garden. Now, sorry about the fencing material. That's just kind of where it landed. It will not be staying there. Now, I don't have a whole lot new going on in this garden. There are some volunteers coming back, but the oregano is looking absolutely beautiful. And then we do have some volunteer flowers. I know it's kind of hard to see the difference, but this is a volunteer flower. That's a volunteer flower. I have no idea what this is, guys. I don't think that it's actually chamomile. I think that it's something else, but it is sending off some flower stalks, it looks like. So we might be able to soon see what it is. Here we have the purple coneflower, or echinacea, and then we do have volunteers coming up along with lots of weeds and grass. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to plant in this garden space this year. I think I'm just going to sprinkle wildflower seeds again and let it do what it's going to do. Here we go. We have another coneflower, or echinacea, that's putting on a flower stalk, which I'm really excited about. And we have our little chamomile plant up there that's struggling, but doing something. Here we have gladiolas and a maple tree, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm definitely going to let that just grow and possibly transplant it to somewhere else once it gets a little bit more established. And once I can figure out how to amend our native soil a little bit more for trees. There's a volunteer right there, and I think this is a calendula, but I'm not sure. Other than that, in this space, there's just root balls that I still have to weed out, or, shake out, and weeds. And then over here, we have the thyme, which is looking okay. Let's put on a couple more leaves. But then right beside it, we have this bee balm that has gotten huge since the last time we saw it. And then more oregano, which is spreading, which I'm really excited about. I'm just gonna let these things go wild. And some gladiolas. And it looks like a chamomile right there, but I didn't plant chamomile anywhere near that. I'm thinking that there's some chamomile look-alike plants. Here's some more little maple babies. And another one. Oh wow, there's quite a few. But that is the log garden. Sorry, the tree garden. Do you know when you have too many garden spaces when you can't remember the names of them, or you get them mixed up? Kind of like when you call all of your kids by the names of the other kids. You just list them all before you finally say, you know what, whatever your name is. You point at them. And these are leafing out, which are absolutely beautiful. And then we're gonna walk over here. This iris, the iris is bloomed. And man, guys, when I tell you they are something, it is pretty breathtaking. And I come out here and look at them oh my goodness, and they've all put on new shoots. Oh, and I think that's a hummingbird moth that was just flying around it. Look at that. It is absolutely stunning. This color, I hope that you guys can truly see that. It is the most beautiful color of purple. And then when they actually bloom, they're breathtaking. I mean, seriously, look at that. And they're huge. Let me see if I can get my hand in there so you guys can see just how large the flower is. Here, let me come over here to this one. It's just so beautiful. This is the variety tomato. This is the variety of potato that I planted. All right, so we're up here in the front yard again. This is the telephone pole garden, and we have some volunteer, actually a lot of volunteer morning glories coming back. They're kind of everywhere. We have some Cosmo volunteers coming back from last year. I don't know what this plant is, but I think I'm gonna keep it around. I think it might be, what is that plant called? I'll put it on the screen because I'm not able to remember it at the moment. And then we have some maple trees coming in, which is really cool. We went in the woods. We have these big big oak trees in the woods, and we collected a whole bunch of acorns, brought them up here and just plopped them in this space. And some of them are coming up, which is really fun. Cleo's tree looking beautiful. And her haircut isn't looking so atrocious anymore, which I'm very, very grateful for. Planted hostas in here. Oh, let me get through here quickly. And I don't think that they're coming up. And this is one of the spaces that I'm not quite sure. Actually, I take that back. I got some Lily of the Valley yesterday, and I'm really excited to plant them in here. Lily of the Valley reminds me of my childhood, and as well as of my parents, especially my dad. So it'll be really nice to plant in here. We have another little volunteer tree coming up. So that is what's going on in this space. Not a whole lot other than, you know, our native plants like grass. So I need to do something with these spaces. But that is Cleo's little garden. So in the last garden tour, I actually forgot some of the berry bushes that my husband got me are here in the yard. Now, this stake is actually going to be one of the places where one of the trees is going to go. But over here, we also have, I think this is a black raspberry. Little black raspberry bush. I'm really excited about that. Now, this I think is a blackberry, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to do anything. I need to actually contact the company and see what they can do for me, because when I planted this, it was just a stalk. It had no root activity whatsoever, and it has not done anything. It's been in the ground for a couple months. Challenge with these trees is that our ground is like, I mean, okay, how do I even express? It is so clay rich. And I'll take you over here to this other hole where we dug. It's unreal. I started digging this hole to try to plant one of them in, and it is like concrete after about 4 inches, because we had all of this front yard was graded last season, and so the top 4 inches is pretty loose, but it gets to a point to where it is like concrete. And so I know that I cannot put trees, little baby trees, into something that is, I cannot even break it. Well, very well with my hand. So I have to figure out how to amend this soil before I plant into it. And I'm thinking that I'm just going to dig a really deep hole with some form of heavy equipment and then pour a bunch of compost into it and amendments, and hope that that helps us to give the tree enough of a start in order to get the roots being big enough to break through that, because as of right now, that is not going to be conducive to having a healthy plant. All right, guys, that is it for garden tour number 2, 2023. Hopefully next time we do a garden tour, things will look much different, much fuller, be lots more in the garden. Hopefully the seedlings that I plant in a couple days, hopefully the reseeding seedlings will do much better, and we will have addressed our slug problem or our pest problem, and the garden will be much fuller and have lots more going on in it. I am so excited for this gardening season, and I'm so excited that you guys are here. Thank you for watching.